It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC 3. It's your Wednesday morning. Right now, we are talking some parenting, giving you some advice. Now, friendship dynamics can be a rather challenging thing to navigate through, more so as an adolescent who's still developing and understanding that there are different kinds of social relationships. Now, this morning, family therapist and social worker Talya Ressel joins us in studio to talk about friendship dynamics in girls specifically and how they can be better equipped to manage these relationships. Talya, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I don't know if I feel a little bit out of my depth as a guy in this, but I'm very, very keen to hear what is going to come out of this.
I think it's important for, for the guys to also understand and wrap their minds around it. But Talya, why in particular do girls have such a unique friendship dynamic?
Well, I think, if we look at the differences between, and we are generalizing here, so obviously it doesn't apply for everyone, but girls, we typically tend to play face-to-face or interact face-to-face, whereas boys are more side-by-side, like playing or more active. And I think with girls, what happens is we are taught to be nice and be sociable and include people, but at the same time we're not taught how to handle when we're frustrated or when we want to put up a boundary, or how to handle conflict that comes with relationships, which it inevitably does. So I think that's why it stands out more for girls, and even more so for adolescent girls.
Yeah.
They've got their tribe.
Yeah. So where do you take it from here one step further? How do you start teaching your girl? Where do you start? Because it's not as simple as you just have to talk, because that's the thing. You get told to talk it out, but that's not how it is in reality.
No. So I think first, we have to understand for girls, what they're doing is they're pulling away from their parents and they're finding a tribe. And this tribe is so important to them. It really, it replaces that parent or family aspect. And what we do is we start to realize how intense that is, how the cost of membership will outweigh often your own judgment, or fitting in becomes so important. And I think we've got to start having these conversations with our girls younger and younger, because it's starting. I'm seeing it among 7-8-year-olds as well.
I was just about to ask, in terms of the age, when do we start noticing these things? What are some of the typical kind of challenges I think that these young girls face on a day-to-day basis?
So what I'm seeing, and what's quite typical, is sort of exclusion, being left out of things, gossiping. It's all very subtle. It's non-direct aggression. Boys going to get, irritated, they get aggressive, they push, typically. Girls not going to come and push each other. They're going to now start a rumor, or they're not going to let you sit with them, or they're going to make an arrangement and leave you out. And what I'm seeing more and more is it's happening in person, but the social media aspect. So they're all in a WhatsApp group, and then the 5 out of the 6 start another WhatsApp group. And leave the one, like those sort of things, or tagged on Instagram, like you and I, best friends forever, and the third friend, you won't be tagged,
I will feel
and you will see that.
Broken. Yeah.
Exactly, and so it's no longer just happening at school or social dynamics; it's happening 24/7.
Okay, well, we're not going anywhere. It's our parenting advice with Talya Ressel. And of course, when we get back, we're going to unpack on how parents can get involved to better equip their children, especially their girls, when it comes to those friendship dynamics among girls. So it's our parenting advice this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
That looks delicious, eh? Some pull-apart monkey bread for Easter. I can do with that.
Looks
I can do
good.
that. Listen, right now, we're continuing our parenting discussion this morning. Earlier on, we spoke about the different social relationships girls in particular experience, and we're continuing that conversation right now with our family expert and social worker Talya Ressel this morning. It's a rather interesting discussion. Like I said earlier, I'm here to listen and observe from a parent's point of view. But it really is something that I feel that parents should focus on.
And we are putting this spotlight in particular on girl friendships and the girl dynamics. And Talya, from a parent's perspective, what could they do if they notice friendship difficulties? What's the best way for them to equip their girls?
Okay, so adolescent, teenager girls, it's a roller coaster. And what parents, the best advice I can give parents is don't get on the roller coaster with the girls. So you're not going up and down with them. You stay on solid ground. And because their friendships, their groupings and all the conflict is going to have that. They can be best friends today, and by tonight they're fighting, and then they've made up the next day as well. It can be that sudden. So for parents, I say, remain grounded, remain removed from it. at the same time realize they're not being dramatic. We always want to say girls drama queens. You know, it does feel that intense. It feels like, oh my goodness, if we fall out, so much is at risk for me. It feels so hard for me because then I don't have my tribe. So I want parents to also acknowledge what an intense experience it is.
Yeah.
I think to open the conversation with your girls and your boys as well around what is being kind, how do we show compassion to people, how would we feel if we were left out? That's a big one. Giving our girls conflict management skills, so how to actually raise, because think about it, if we, as girls, we get such mixed messages. We must be so kind but not a pushover, and we must be assertive but don't be bitchy, or that's considered too bossy. How do we actually are allowed to assert ourselves and express our needs without it being seen in a negative way?
Yeah.
And one of the biggest ones I want parents to be talking about is ask your girls around the difference around power versus popularity. Because often it's the powerful girl, you think they're the popular one, but they're not actually liked.
Yeah.
They just hold a lot of the power. And so be talking to your girl about what you notice. Like, do you actually like her? What do you like about her? What, you know, and asking those questions. How do you feel when you're with them?
Yeah.
Because they can't tell. At teen level, it's all about status, not necessarily likability. And I think we buy into that more and more as adults, even around the whole status versus likability as we've gotten more involved in social media.
Yeah.
Sure. Talya, thank you very, very much. I mean, that was a whole load of great advice. I hope that you guys were listening, parents and teens alike as well. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'm glad we're highlighting this in terms of the difference as to how girls will deal with a certain situation versus boys, you know, who's more physical, I would say, you know, and girls are more about the conversational side of things and the exclusion side of things as well. Thank you very much, Talya. I really appreciate it. You can always let us know if you have any further questions or comments on our social media feeds, #Expresso Show, but that's your parenting for your Wednesday morning.